We are ready.
Hey, we come to order.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful Lord's Day. Lord, we just ask you to be with us tonight. Lead, guide, and direct us, Lord, as we go forward this meeting and everything we've done to be pleasing in your eyes. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight.
And not too many times do you see a weather forecast where it starts out with lightning, dense fog, thunderstorms, and freezing words all in the same day.
Right.
And all in 24 hours.
Yeah.
There's a keeper right there. So, with that, I will start off with the roll call. Curtis is back there in the back. Miss Wendy's here. Miss Sue is here. Connor's here. Franklin is still out. I'm here.
He's on the Zoom. He's on the Zoom.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. He is on the Zoom. Forgive me for that, Franklin. Miss Virginia's here. Miss Sherry is at all.
I can't see you.
Yeah, she'll be here later. And Mr. Warren, our illustrious attorney, is here with us tonight. So, and where's Gail? Sitting back here in the back. There you go. I seen that back. So, okay. With that being said, if you had a chance to look over the agenda,
Move approval of the agenda.
then properly moved and seconded on the agenda. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same, motion carries. Next on it is the approval of the minutes from the January 2nd Town Council meeting.
I move to approve the minutes from the January 2nd Town Council meeting.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All those again in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carries. Pretty good when you got one doing it, the other one second, you can't have a chance to. Anyway, this is for the new people, public participation. If you do wish to speak, if you have not already registered, you need to fill out one of the forms that's out in the foyer and hand it to Ms. Wendy. We need you to approach the podium, speak clearly, of course, and state your full name and address for the record. And comments will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person, so everybody can speak, okay? All right, with that out of the way, first on our list tonight, we got Mr. Robbie Blake.
Thank you, Robert. I'm going to hand out, I know I included a map with my packet, but I wanted to give one to Mr. Warren.
Okay.
And here's what we do. Let me get everybody a map. This is a map of Bronson, and it shows a proposed 1,100 acre sand mine that is going to send, I can't get these. Thank you. There it goes. It's going to send 150 sand trucks, Mack trucks, up 337 from the hours of 7 in the morning till 6 at night. And I think all of you know that our park, and I'm sorry to hear this, been vandalized, is one of our jewels, one of the things that, we've got the biggest park in the county, really. And I was up there with my grandkids the other day, and there were 15 or 20 people there using it. So what I want to say is, I had a vision to build a park in Bronson, and that's what I did, and started a nonprofit and then donated it to the city. All of our work went into that park, and we thank God we have a park, and it's a real gem. So my heart is in Bronson, and I remember when I first came up here and started to talk about the park, I was asked, I think it was Dick Garner, asked me, well, what do you want to do something like this? Why do you want to tell us what to do? You don't even live in the city limits, and you can't vote. And I said, well, I live half a mile out of the city limits. I wish you would expand them, but it hasn't happened all these years, so I'm still half a mile outside the city limits. But I told him, I said, I vote here, I get my mail here, I shop here, I get my gas, I go to the hardware store, my kids go to the schools here. You know, this is my town. So I want you to look at this map and understand that this man that is about to, going February 6th to get approved, that what they're looking for is a 45-year ability, special exception, to take sand out in this residential neighborhood. If you look at the map, you can see all the residences all around within, 2 miles of this thing. And the road 337 is going to be degraded. I think you all know where the 337 joint is up here, where you come up and have to make that turn, and it's quite difficult. And this is what you're going to be seeing. You can go ahead and pass that around. You're going to be seeing those trucks coming one after the other. And somebody is going to have a wreck trying to get out from 337. That's the only way out for them, unless they go on 121. And there's quite a few wrecks on there with those big trucks, the rock trucks that come up there. So what I want to say is that the applicant was the one who got $1.5 million from Sable Trail when they ran through, saying that they messed up his property and that he didn't have the privacy and all the reasons. But, and I have the sheet that shows who was involved in that suit. Of course, it did involve Lee Thomas, Brian Thomas, and of course, Wilbur Dean. And so what we have is people trying to pass something that is not compatible with the zoning, it's not compatible with safety or taking care of 337, which is a narrow 2-lane road. It's hard enough to pass on that road anyway. And many other ways in which it's not compatible and doesn't comply with the ordinances that we have. So, you've got one person making a huge gain in money, monetary means, and sticking it to the other 2,400 people that we just sent out letters to telling them about this. Because it matters. If you've got kids that are going to be getting on at a bus stop, and the bus stops, and the truck keeps going, it's going to happen. Yeah. And so what we want to do is prevent all of that. And what I'd like to ask is if you all knew about this, and if you have a plan for how to address this with the county commission in the form of either, phone calls or a letter or something, because y'all are the ones. We've got wonderful businesses that have come in, and they add to the community, but imagine if 2 or 3 of those dump trucks parked at A&A. Where would the other people park? Or if you have a wreck every week, somebody trying to pull out, how's that going to tax our local authorities, fire department, and people that have to respond? So I just would like for you guys to dig into this a little more. And did you know about this?
So, to my knowledge, the most that we can do is go to the county meetings, just like you all, and speak with them in a public forum. I don't know if you were at the last meeting, but all 3 of us were there all day long.
Where we had to wait until 3 o'clock?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
I left before they did because I had to go get my daughter, but
a lot of people had to leave, and that was so unfortunate.
But legally, that's all that we can do.
Are you able to write a letter, Mr. Warren? Are they able to write a letter?
We're able to, yes.
And submit it before this meeting as a, asking for them to do more study, because basically their traffic study is only just counting how many vehicles.
Yeah, and it sounded to me like, I want to say I heard them say that the developer or the landowner had said that they were only going to use one way for transportation, which I don't really see how that would be possible.
There's only one way, and it's 337.
No, there's the other road that they could take, but I think he was trying to say that they were not going to take that way, although I don't understand how anybody could absolutely give a 100% answer like that. So
they have not done the proper studies that should have been done, and it's on the burden of them to produce evidence and provide the evidence so that people are sure that these things are not going to cause a problem. They have not done that.
So I have the same concerns that you just said, every single one of them. I'm
Yes,
not
ma'am.
concerned with the sand mine itself, because they have stated over and over again, it is not a sand mine. It is them extracting sand out of there versus using a mine to blow up sand.
Their original thing
No.
was that they were just gonna level a hill so they could do farming
Right.
better.
A lie.
But, it doesn't take 45 years to level a hill. Give me a bulldozer in about a week and I could probably get it done.
Well, my concern is mostly the traffic, for me personally.
Well, that's what I think
That's
that the
the
town of
traffic.
Bronson should be concerned about, and I'm glad to know that y'all went. And that you got the information and that you're up, to speed on what they're trying to do.
But
And
we-
I do want to say that when we went there, I'm sure you saw if you were there, every one of them met ex parte with Ryan Thomas. And there was no, they're supposed to submit a document at the clerk's office if they meet ex parte. That means without us, without anybody that's opposed to it. And so, then I mentioned that Desiree Gerald's had received $1,500 in campaign contributions. Well, there's nothing wrong with campaign contributions, but she just went ballistic, really. But she should recuse herself from the vote. If that, if she has a relationship.
So we cannot do anything
No, no.
about that.
I'm just telling you all the reasons that I'm gonna quit now. But I'm glad to know that you guys are interested in this problem, and I don't want to see children getting killed, getting off a bus, or somebody getting a wreck here. It could be you, it could be you, it could be any of us. And God willing, we can get this stopped, and we won't have to have this. It's in a residential area. You shouldn't put a sand mine. It's in the wrong place. Wrong place. So, thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it.
All right, next we have Miss Laura Catlett.
Good evening, everyone. Robbie covered a whole lot of things. I just want to cover a couple other things that she didn't mention. Our area, Bronson and the sand mine, all sit atop the Rainbow River watershed. And there's a big concern about any breaching of that water. Robbie attended last night the Rainbow River Conservation meeting. They're going to join us at the February 6th meeting. I just want to do a little recap. These trucks are going to affect so many people. They're going to affect my friend Missy, who lives right next to it, and she's already had that experience of them operating without permit. It's going to affect my friend Lila and Lambert, who also live nearby, and everybody who travels 337. And then it's going to affect everybody who in Bronson, who travels through Bronson. So I have been imagining what it would be like when I leave my house on 102 and come up 337 to come to town to do my shopping, or go to Gainesville, or to, patronize one of these nice businesses. And I have made a decision that I won't come here to shop anymore. I will go out 102 and I will go to Williston, because I don't want to sit in traffic with a bunch of dump trucks and risk my life getting in and out on this road to do my shopping. So I hope that y'all will continue to come to the meeting, because we need everybody there from all parts of Bronson and Lee County to try to make sure that they deny this special exception, so it doesn't open the door for other things like this in our neighborhood. Thank you very much.
All right. Do we have anybody else?
It looks like Mr. Elijah's going on.
Yeah, we know who you are.
All right. My concern is mine, and what I'm not understanding, if I got 3 of y'all at that meeting that she's talking about, it seemed like it was a long meeting.
It was.
And we didn't come up with no kind of solution. Because that is dangerous. And like the lady said, it could be you or me, or anybody.
They tabled it. We don't have any control over that.
It's the county.
We don't have any
That's
control over that.
Y'all have control.
We were there to get information just as anyone else. We can't skip the line or call. We have guidelines that we have to go by. So we were there doing our due diligence to get the information. So we can't make them make any decision. They can't come here and make us make any decision.
So y'all went there. Well, why did you go?
To get information, to
And
speak.
what is the information What can I get out of it?
Oh, well, before I went, I thought that, this sand mine was gonna be something totally different than it was. Because from the way that people were making it sound, they were making it sound like this was gonna be a long-standing sand mine. From what the property owner says, he says that it's to get however much sand is out so that he can continue farming.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
And not to be ugly or rude, and I would fill my paper out, but you've said that several times, and I know you're just going by information that you thought.
Okay, now, hold on just a second. You need to fill out one of the things that come approach you, bench. I have to go by the rules. I'm sorry.
You come on.
I do wish y'all would write a letter.
Yes, please write a letter, because what you're being told is a lie. It is a big lie.
Okay, well, now, and I have to, again, this is county business.
I know.
We're here trying to take.
I was
this
just
off.
trying to make sure she knew what she was hearing was wrong.
What I just said was what I learned at the meeting. That's exactly what was said at that meeting. Now, whatever he goes and does beyond that, that's between him and them. But I just told you what he said in the meeting. So it may be hearsay to you, but I can't say what your thoughts are.
All right, anybody else? All right,
Thank you.
informational items. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. in the Metropolis area of Oak Creek, we will be having a W3C board meeting. That's for Walker's National Water and Wastewater Cooperative Board meeting. And it will, again, will take place at 1 o'clock. Single track samurai.
I'll talk to the next
Yes, I
one. Okay, so there's a group called Single Track Samurai. They're adventure cycling enthusiasts, let's put it that way. So they're going to be at the park on Saturday, starting on Saturday. They're doing a 24-hour ride, starting at the park, ending, it's 50 miles on Saturday, another 30 miles on Sunday, so a total of 80 miles. But they're going out to the Gothy Giant, which I never heard of before, but I'm from here. A 907-year-old bald cypress tree is the plan. So they're going to be, the reason I put it on the agenda is they're going to be parking, there's going to be several vehicles parked overnight at the park on Saturday. So because we've had so many issues with the park, I just want people to know that there will be some cars parked there because this is where they're starting out their cycling event. So
Okay.
that's all they are.
Bread of the Mighty Food Bank Local Food Drive is Friday, the 26th. That's at 9:30, and do not forget, don't get there early, because if you do, everybody off. We can't block off the drive, that's all. Our next town council meeting will be Monday, the 5th of February, at 6 p.m. here. And with that, Ms. Sue, I will turn it over to you.
Okay, so first up on my agenda tonight is the selection of the new fire chief. I'll reiterate this because we do have a lot of people in the audience, which is lovely to see because we hardly ever see that here. So just to reiterate, I posted the position in the beginning of October. We kept it out there for about a month. We received 17 applicants. This was on Indeed.com. Throughout the month of November, myself, Councilor Voorhees, and Fire Chief Harrell from Levy County reviewed all 17 of the resumes. We had a 10 different ranking system that we used, 10 different points that we were looking at. Of the 17, we recommended 5 to a interview panel, which again was myself, Councilor Voorhees, Wendy from HR, and Chief Alan Clayton from Madison County. Thank you. I just want to say that wrong. So we interviewed all 5 of the applicants, and of those 5, we recommended 2 to the town council. Of those 2, those 2 basically came in and interviewed for the council at the last council meeting, which was on January 2nd. And they've had 2 weeks to deliberate on these final 2 candidates. I do have Counselor Sherry Schuler's vote. She gave it to me this afternoon. But in your council packet, each of you has a sheet that basically says, go ahead and cast your vote for either Mary Ellen Harper, who's here in the audience, or Michael Davis. So I'm looking for you to make a vote and hand me your vote, and then we'll tally them.
Yours is on the back of the book.
I don't even know what it is right now. She can cross that name out, but yours on there.
Thank you.
That's where I'll get cross that name out.
You guys are killing me.
Has Mr. Schuler voted? Who's on the,
It is not, but I'm looking to see if we may or may not need his vote. See, she filled out the right form. With her name at the top.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Do we need breaking for that?
No, we do not. Okay, so, Councilor Schuler, you can certainly vote if you'd like to, but at this point, it's a unanimous decision. It's Mary Ellen Harper.
What's the name again?
Mary Ellen Harper, and she is here if you want to get up and say a few words. We'll put you on the spot. How's that?
Well, thank you very much. We're very excited to come in and hear your fire chief and get some work done. Let's pick it up.
Do you want to tell them your other exciting news?
Yeah,
So this is a big day. I also got a vote this afternoon to be the new public information officer for Lincoln County. So my daytime office will be right here in Bronson.
Congratulations. And I'd like to say this about both of these people that, you know, that interviewed, both of them, highly qualified. It was so refreshing to have, you know, this much interest in everything, and I applaud both of you. And I think we look forward to many years working together.
We're meeting all the firefighters this afternoon and getting some work done.
All right.
you know, we play with matches here.
We'll fix that.
Those skills to each other.
When do y'all want to make the position effective? We'll have to make the motion, obviously, but when do you want to make the position effective, so we can put it in motion?
I can tell you when I'd like it to be effective.
Yes, sir.
6:25 tonight. Is that an option?
Tomorrow? Is that all right?
Do you have to go through the background check and drug check first?
Yes, I mean, we'll still do that, yes. I mean, I would like it to be effective as soon as possible, yes.
You want to do a pending background check and
So effective tomorrow, subject to background check and any other formalities.
yeah, I make a motion to appoint Mary Ellen Harper as the fire chief, effective with tomorrow, with the background checks and drug tests and everything coming back the way they should.
Been properly moved and seconded that we hire Ms. Mary Ellen Harper as our new fire chief. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those same, motion carried. Welcome to the fold. All right.
All right, so next up on my agenda is Aloma Estates Phase 1 Final Plat. Everybody's here from representing Aloma Estates, so I'm gonna let you guys do it. I'm gonna let you guys take it from here. You wanna talk? Let Kathy do it.
Good evening. I'm Kathy Eva. I'm Director of Planning for JP Pro. We have been working on this plat for longer than I've been employed by JP Pro, which is a year and a half. So we've been working towards this. We're excited to finally get this approved, and this is just for the initial plat and the recording of the initial phase of the project.
I do have a question that I got from a concerned citizen today, and I'm hoping you guys can answer this. The question is regarding, again, for the public, these two initial plots are going to be on septic, which we agreed to many moons ago. As they were, putting these in, they want to make sure that, they're going to sell here in Bronson, so we agreed to that. So now, obviously, the state's passed these new laws about what kind of septic tank you have to put in. I'm assuming these are going to be that newer standard, whatever that is, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're required to meet the new standards.
Okay,
So, right, these are just those, this is only phase one, this is just these two construction models that will become the models for the rest of the project. As per our other meeting, we will be going through a rezoning and comprehensive plan amendment so that we can put the rest of, we can get the density we need to put the rest of them on full, all letters or public utilities.
do we need to review that to the public or place that or not?
Yeah, why don't you just briefly expand on that a little bit?
Well, there's not really much to, I mean, that one is, it's a future phase and we'll be putting, we'll be submitting an application coming shortly. So that's nothing to do with this, I'm just,
Right.
so this is only for the two model homes.
When are they gonna get started?
As soon as we get a recording full permits, we can get
He's
started.
been waiting for, he's
Sorry.
been nagging us for months now on this, so.
Luis, yes.
Yes.
The infrastructure is already built, so everything's ready. We gotta have a legal tax parcel in order to be able to pull permits. But everything's done, the retention ponds, the cul-de-sac, everything's built, the water lines, everything. We just need to pull permits so we can move forward and try to. We've been doing this for a while now.
And on the review that, and I put this into the council packet, so there was a review back on November 13th from Andrew Jenkins with observations and discussions. So there was a few things on here that they had recommended. Did everything on here get done?
I believe so.
Everything's been done, you know.
Everything on the recommendation.
Yes.
Okay.
Physically, where is the final plat at this point? That has to be signed off on.
It's gonna be brought over. We got the minutes is at the office, but it's
Yeah.
making Mylar so they're gonna bring here and then we have to have a signature of whoever's your surveyor that was in me and town manager. So.
When we have our building man, we'll be here in the morning. I said he will be here in the morning.
Yeah, next year on Wednesday morning.
Yeah, so, all right, with that being said,
Move approval of Wilma Estates Phase 1 final plat.
Subject, if I may suggest, subject to confirmation by the building department tomorrow morning that everything is according to law, which I presume it is from what I
Exactly what
heard.
he just
It's
said.
not because I doubt it,
No, it's,
it's just a formality.
I understood.
Exactly what he just said.
all right, we have a motion. And all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
All right. Just on my agenda. Okay, so this is just kind of an FYI. Last week, Mid-Tower, they've been working on this for months. Because the town of Bronson is located on a BMAP, which stands for Basin
This is
Management
27,
Watershed.
it's up here.
24, this is 27.
Yes.
Robert.
There you go.
We're required to submit our plans as to what sort of projects we want to do. They could potentially get in front of FDEP for approval. So there's 3 in here in your packet. The first, which you know about because we went over it recently, is the septic tank phase out for phase 3. So that would take place between 2025 and 2026. It's an $18 million project, and it's basically to convert another 200 homes from septic to sewer. The second, we talked about the meeting last week. It's a vulnerability assessment. We got $100,000. that Andrew Green from Florida Rural Water applied for. Again, Mid-Tower is going to be actually doing the work, but it's to identify assets that are vulnerable to flooding within municipality. So again, that's just a study. And then the third is the wastewater treatment facility expansion and upgrade. That would take place between 2025, actually the whole 2025 fiscal year. That's a $12 million project, and that's basically to upgrade the aging, deteriorating, as they put it, wastewater treatment plant. It's to give us higher flow capacity, which we'll need at some point if all the houses come on, and just for it to operate more reliably and efficiently. So again, just in your council packet for FYI, those are submitted to FDEP, and anything that's in the BMAP gets priority. So again, they might like to see what projects everybody has in the project. So that's all.
Thank you, ma'am. There's a lot of stuff going on with fixing this park, so. We got anything else that you got? Curtis?
Good evening, just briefly. First thing is the quote for a new sewer pump for Stevens Street. Actually, the pump that's quoted is compatible for our three oldest lift stations, South Pine lift station, Hardy Street lift station, and Stevens Street lift station. Hardy Street and Pine, we don't really have problems with those, but Stevens Street, we do, we have to pull the pump quite often. And the pumps have probably reached their age, probably 3 years ago. We're talking about infrastructure, doing things at the sewer plant. I want to propose that if we can get this pump for our three pumping stations that are the oldest, then we have a spare that we compatible for those three lift stations. But then we have we're going to need two more pumps. When they did the expansion for Margaret Street, those have a different pump. And when they did the one for out in the park, has a different pump. I don't think they're quite as expensive, but that will give us in the next year or so, if we can get two more pumps, down the line, that we'll have a spare pump for our lift stations. And also we got a dewatering pump, so that will help in the case of emergency. If anything go down, we'll still be able to hook our dewatering pump to it and move the flow. And that's going to come in handy where we don't have a generator. So we're moving in a good direction, that we have things that are available to us in case of emergency, that we can, we won't be at a standstill. So.
All right. Everything good on this right here as far as budgetary and all this sort of stuff?
I mean, keep in mind, we do not have ARPA money anymore, so this is, technically a non-budgeted item, but I mean, if it's something we need it. I mean, Curtis, you tell us, what is the need?
We need it. Simply for the fact, Stevens Street lift station, everything from the city goes through that lift station before it goes over to the sewer plant. If we have a malfunction here, again, we can use our dewatering pump, but I don't think we're going to go that route for very long. That would be for a backup and emergency. But, if one of the pumps goes down, again, we're on one pump, anything can happen. The pump get clogged up, then the flow is not going to move, then the wet well, and everything coming from the city going through that lift station, you're going to have a problem with stuff on the ground. And so,
this quote's out of date, right? So it'll be, have to be
I think
updated.
it's updated.
Is it updated?
It should be.
The 11/5/10.
I don't think so, Curtis. You might want to reach out to them, because the one that I've got expired on 2022.
I'll give you another one.
Oh, did you? Was it the same price?
Yes, about the same price.
Okay.
11.5.
Move approval of the pump for the Stevens Street lift station at whatever the adjusted price is on your quote.
It's 11.5.
All right. And we have a second, motion and a second. Discussion on this? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carried.
Okay, the next thing on my list is the library repairs up in the vent. We did the testing, got the results back. The air was fine. The quote that you have before you now is the repair to the roof, to the ceiling, to the vents. I think if you look on your quote, he has a list of, on the left-hand side where it says repair proposal. He has it listed in days, but day one, floor cabinet, dust protection, a lot of the stuff here, I don't see the need for it, but it's in his quote. And the total price is like $4,685 for them to go in there and repair what they tore out when they was taking out the mold.
All right. Again, non-budgeted item.
Yeah, we don't carry nearly that much money in the library fund. I mean, this entire repair is gonna be over 10,820 to be exact. So the question there, Curtis, is it something that you feel the Public Works Department could do? Or do you feel more comfortable with them doing it because?
This is, when we got into this, we were seeing that we was gonna have the company come in, remove the mold, do the mold remediation, do all those things. And now into the repair, Public Works was never an indicator that we would do that and give you all the quotes on what it would cost for Serco to come in, do all the work, remove everything that was contaminated, that was in the roof, in the attic part, the vents. They did all that. But now this is the repair for it. I think we didn't have the money going in before we agreed to do it. Is that the money wasn't there.
But we need to do it, Chris. I mean,
Right, that's what I'm
that mold has
saying.
been in that for a very long
No,
time.
I don't feel like I'm proposing something that I knew we didn't have the money on. And here I am standing trying to propose something that it wasn't mine. It wasn't me.
No, it's not you, Chris.
Well, there's no question about the repair work needs to be done, and there's no doubt that the mold needs to be removed. So it's one of them things, as we said. And like I said, I question the fact that there's a possibility we could claim this on an insurance claim, but that was.
The period of time over the period of time when the roof, probably been several years ago, when they actually had a problem with the roof.
All right, so this is going to resolve all that problem too, and everything's hopefully. All right.
Yes.
All right, thank you, council.
Make a motion to accept the quote from Serco to reconstruct the library.
I second.
Again, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Should we
Yes.
ask Franklin how he feels about it, considering it's his?
Yeah, that's fine. I can't. Is he where you can talk? Franklin. Anything you need to say about on this? I said, are you good with this?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right, good enough. All right. All those in favor, again, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same motion carries. Get a fix.
Thank you, Curtis.
All right, yes, sir. All right, Gail.
Most of our report is a little different than related to directly to the department, but we've had some ongoing issues with the station goals, the hydrant that we have, and you can see on it, the sign, there's a lot of delays from everybody on getting that stuff done. So the doors and such, we may have to approach the council sometime in the future to deal with that. But right now, we're doing the best we can with it. Aside from that, I have some things I'd like to say. The National Volunteer Fire Council has said that every volunteer saves the community $45,000. That's a bit misleading in that every volunteer is not always available. There's definitely a cost saving considering the fact that the department or municipality does not have to pay for a full-time employee. Depending on pay rates, retirement, and other benefits, a career beginning firefighter commitment could run from $45,000 to $65,000 per individual. Traditionally, volunteer members lived in the fire district, responded to a call from home. I joined the department in 1993. Jesse Baggett has been in department since 1986. From the latter date to the present, there has been a pay-per-call remuneration to primarily defray members' gas expense for responding from home. Volunteerism has declined over the past 2 decades throughout the states, and Florida is no exception. Like many other departments, Bronson instituted an additional stipend to compensate members for time spent providing coverage at the fire station. This has led to accepting personnel from outside the district, some who live 20 or 30 miles away and are available on a more limited basis. We have one paid firefighter who works a 40-hour week. Of the 160 hours in a week, that leaves 128 hours to be covered by volunteers. There was a surge of participation after September 18, 2023, but scheduled coverage has recently slackened. As interim chief, I considered it my responsibility to see that no incident went unanswered. To my knowledge, that has been the case since September 18th. Unfortunately, this has required me to be available to respond 48 to 72 hours a week or more, primarily nights and Saturdays. In December alone, I estimate I answered 35% to 40% of all incidents as the only responder, close to 50% for this month so far. Had I ever not responded, there would have been many incidents not answered by Bronson. I will not continue that pace with the advent of a new fire chief. My brother likes to tell me I'm not 20 anymore. The pace and successive nights with only 3 hours of sleep are taking a toll physically and mentally. Some town officials have expressed a desire to see a consistent presence in the new fire station. It's a simple solution to say hire more people, but the complexity of that is funding, obviously. There is an option to think about, which I plan to present in the future, and I gladly share that now, rather than seem vindictive by keeping it to myself. This proposal does not solve the funding issue, but it does offer one consideration for someone to be in the station 24 hours a day, every day. Typical fire service staffing is accomplished by a 24-48 schedule. This provides 3 shifts of 24 hours on with 48 hours off. For example, firefighter A would work Monday, usually 8 a.m. to 8 a.m., have Tuesday and Wednesday off, then work again Thursday and so on. Firefighter B would work Tuesday, be off Wednesday and Thursday, and on and on. For Bronson to utilize this concept, it would require the hiring of 2 more full-time firefighters, and the outlay should be at least $100,000. It would be hoped that volunteers could provide additional coverage, especially when a full-time staff member would take time off. The current department budget does not and cannot provide for such a proposal. I believe it is in the hands of the town leaders to ponder such a plan and seek sufficient funding. The ultimate responsibility for response lies with the jurisdiction's top administrators. Different note, a former fire chief ascribed to the precept of customer service. I think he had the intention for members to consider a customer as the individual we were called to help. But to me, the definition of customer should expand to anyone we come into contact with. Obviously, whoever we are attending to directly, but also any family members, friends, or bystanders that we may bring into the conversation or are watching our actions. Customers are people just driving through the district. Someone we pass on the street or meet in the store, offering a wave, hello, or even a smile. Any individual we talk to on the phone, email, or text. In short, every person we see who sees us or who hears us whenever we're wearing an article of clothing or performing a service that indicates we are a member of the Bronson Fire Department. I try to present myself that way, and it's still the same edict to all members. This department has a stigma, years in the making, that may take a long time to shake off. But the right attitude from our members, with the right attitude from our members, that task can be a less tedious undertaking. Drawing to a close, I have listened to some of the recorded interviews conducted with the 2 candidates for chief. Certain comments stated in those interviews have caused personal consternation and chagrin on my part. Phrases such as lack of leadership, favoritism, and a need for management, to me, presents a preconceived notion to the interviewees and denigrates the concept of my ability before any meeting between them and myself would take place. A most unfortunate occurrence. I will not drop my keys on the dais and walk out. I will not withhold information in an effort to foment favor. take comfort in the fact that I offer my knowledge and experience as a new appointee to make their introduction into the position and department as smooth as possible. I have and will continue to encourage the membership to do likewise. Finally, I will continue as an active member of the department since civil service has been an ideology ingrained in my character for nearly 46 years. Being a volunteer is especially meaningful. Because of my father and his generation. Men who I learned from and respected for their services and do anything.
Thank you, Gail. First of all, I'd like to make a statement concerning this change, so to say. I'd like to commend Gail and the staff on everything that they have done. It has been marvelous as far as I'm concerned. There was a challenge put before to him. He's gladly accepted it. Had all the rest of the guys in here to help, of course, and I commend all of y'all. This is a job that, well, let's just say, I go back a long ways with this. And I understand the emotions. I happened to, in 1970, my mom and dad's house out here, which y'all probably all know, we didn't even have any bunker gear here at the time. Nothing. Our house burned. So, it's been rebuilt, thanks to insurance. And always remember, everything can be rebuilt except for a life, okay? So you can't do that. And I commend you all for that, and I look forward to where we can go, okay? And I will do this for you, Gail. I'll try to find that $100,000. How about that? Because that's what I do best, is run my mouth, talk. Try to see. And it's just putting minds together, okay? We got a project right now, just talking about it tomorrow. Who in the world would ever thought we'd be sitting in Tallahassee right now trying to get $130 million to put a pipeline to where we can pump water to see the keys so these people down there can have good water. But that's actually going on right now. So can it be done? Yes. It's just a matter of putting your brain together, just like Robbie did when we put the park together out there. Put a challenge out, put some people together, and go to work at it. That's all we got to do. So, again, I commend you and for the job you've done, and just make us proud, as they say. So, and so I look forward to a long journey here. So, okay. Dollar, is your department, so I'm talking over you, so you got anything to say on that?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Gabe. He's been thrown in this position more than just this one time, if I recall right. And he's always led the department in the right direction. His last time was probably a little bit tougher than the rest of them, just with the challenges that were thrown at him and the crapshoot, to say the less, that he was thrown into. But I just want to thank him for that, and glad to hear that he's going to stay on and help the transition be smooth. And his knowledge is very, very usable to everybody on the department with these years of experience.
Good. All right. Mr. Warren.
I'm not following that.
You're not following? Okay. All right. Curtis, you and I got anything we need to bring up on anything? Everything good? Okay. We haven't been able to get together here the last few days, so other than that, he says we're good, so we're good. Mr. Jenny?
I want to say thank you to every single firefighter who has stayed on through this ordeal. I want to thank you for waiting on the next call. I mean, really and truly. We appreciate every one of y'all, even the ones that are not here. I know that they're working at their other jobs, but thank you all for staying on. We greatly appreciate every single one of y'all. I also have something else to say, since y'all are liking me so much. I need everyone in this room to go to the health department tomorrow when they're open and get a can of Narcan. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Not nothing. It's free. Go to the counter and get one for every vehicle that you own. Put one in every vehicle that you own. Don't make the decision of, I will never need it. Decide that after you got it. Because it is getting worse and worse. We are losing children. Children make the dumbest decisions that I know. A lot of kids that make dumb decisions end up being great adults. And this one thing could be the determining factor. So please, I did not know that the health department was giving them away. They're $17 a piece at CVS. The CVS has been sold out. The only person at the high school that is mandated to carry one is Officer Shepherd. He's the only one at the high school that is mandated to have this. And I don't know if y'all have been paying attention to the newspapers, but here lately it's been taking them two to bring some people back.
Can I speak to that?
So I urge you, and no matter how you feel about drugs, please, no matter what you feel about it, go get one for every vehicle you have, please. It's free.
It's not worth someone got home.
No.
When are they available?
They're at the health department. You could just walk
right
up-
now.
Right now. They're free.
Did they give you any pointers on use?
No, sir, but I can Google it.
It's a nasal spray. It goes into a nostril and like a syringe, you squeeze it and it goes in. Obviously, if somebody's breathing out their mouth, they're not going to get much in their nose, and it'll just drip back out. That's why they're needing two. For our part, when we go out and provide it, as far as Bronson is concerned, we're only going to give it if somebody's not breathing. If they're unconscious and breathing, there's no need for us to give them this. If they're not breathing, we will give them this, and then we have a bag that we put on their face and squeeze to force the air into their nose so that it can get more down into the lungs. It can work up in here, but it works more if it gets further into the lungs. So I would suggest if you're going to give it to somebody and they are breathing, think about trying to close their mouth. And when they inhale, give a squirt. So it's going to come in, it'll go in when they breathe in. Get it in there then.
Thank you.
You might not have this answer. Are you allowed to put it in a company vehicle or a state vehicle?
I don't see why not, because
I know I would ask my boss also.
You can ask your boss, but it's not something that counteracts with anything. If you accidentally ingest this, it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to bother you.
That's going to be up to your specific entity in that aspect. It has nothing to do with, like, there's not a legal thing that says you can or can't.
And
Make your job allowable.
do we know where we are with the animal control thing? I had an issue. Okay, I had an issue the day after our last meeting where a cat was stuck, his head was stuck in a can, and I went and freed it, got it out. But do you know where we're at with that?
Yeah, me and Sue met with the Williston city manager, the city clerk, and a couple of the other employees. When was that, last Wednesday? Last Thursday. And they're working on coming up with because they're in the same situation. Their animal control officer / code enforcement guy is retiring in the middle of February. So we've talked about doing a kind of like a joint operation, I'd call it, because we have an animal control officer, but they're going to be hiring another code enforcement person, but it takes a while to do the class for animal control. So we're working on how we can help them with animal control and for use of their facilities. And then maybe they can help us with our code enforcement stuff too, and just work back and forth. But they said that they will be open to letting us use their facilities.
Not yet.
Huh? Well, we'd have to come up with an interlocal agreement.
Okay.
So they're working out trying to figure out when exactly he's retiring, what they're gonna do, who they're hiring, all that stuff. When they come up with an interlocal agreement, they said they were 100% open to us using their facilities for free. So, not costing us a amount that we could work on.
But to answer your question from last week, so the facility that they just built, the $600,000 facility on the airport property, that is theirs, belongs to the town, the city of Williston. Somebody donated like $600,000 for them to build it. It's a beautiful building, lots of puppies in there, and there's tons of puppies in there right now. But WAG, the Williston Animal Group, behind, that's a 501(c)(3). But right now, WAG has been kind of picking up expectant dogs, and then putting them in that shelter. So that's why they have so many puppies. But what they were saying is their goal really is for that to be, just Williston. Outside of this, obviously, but, right now they picked up the dog last week.
From
And
Tallahassee and Putnam County and
all
all that
over the
stuff.
place. Yeah.
They're trying to make it a no-kill shelter.
That's what WAG is.
Yeah.
Yeah, one question, so when we do that, so we're gonna put a staff member there or employee?
Full-time?
No, it would just be an on-call basis.
I thought somebody if there are animals there, if they stop doing it and we assume the responsibility of their facility.
No, we'll just be dropping off. They're still gonna
So
have
they
the
just gonna
full-time.
accept.
Yeah, they're still gonna
Okay.
have the full-time person for feeding.
Okay.
They still have the vet and all that stuff.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We'll
They'll
just have an
and
on-call.
We'll have on-call just during regular business hours. They would handle, and the county would still handle the off-business hours and weekends.
We'll see how that works.
Yeah, we'll not hold our breath on the county, but we'll figure out what that will do.
We would share Celeste, basically, we would share Celeste,
Yeah.
and then they would allow us to bring dogs there instead of bringing them to the county.
That's what I'm saying, so we are losing employees.
Well, again, we asked them how many dogs they take in, and again, this is just, no, it was dogs and cats. It was dogs and cats. And it's, their biggest concern is when they arrest somebody, if that person has a dog in the car, they have to know what to do with that dog, because remember, they have a police department there. So they have slightly different issues than we do, but still, they didn't say, they were like a dog or two a month, like us, a dog or two. This isn't gonna be 20 dogs a week, I mean.
And even then, it's a base by base, so like if they get a phone call, there's a stray dog running around, it doesn't mean whoever's on call stops what they're doing and goes and does. If it's a dog that's injured or if it's a police matter, that's different.
Yeah.
Needless to say, there's some mechanical stuff.
It's very early stages.
It's very early, and what we're waiting on is their meeting tonight, and WAG has actually put in to do an agreement with them. So we're waiting to see how the city council feels about WAG basically doing this instead.
Yeah, they had
So
to.
only if WAG doesn't get in there, they will be open to the town council doing it. So there's a lot of moving parts, we're still very early on with them. But it's more favorable in the
I'd
county.
say we're on a far better headed direction than we were with the county. So, the other thing was, it was like an announcement, the FFA, the Bronson FFA is doing their annual food fest, February 23rd at the Baptist Church. They're getting tickets and stuff printed right now at the print shop, so I'll have some of those that will be selling. It's $15 a plate. We do usually chicken, pulled pork, mullet, and everything like that. We do a cake auction, which is for the scholarship fund for the seniors. That's the 23rd. So, if you want to spend some money on a cake, let me know. Because we do it every year. It's just for the alumni, the alumni scholarship for the seniors.
I have a question. On Wilson Avenue, how full is that road gonna be paved? How full is it?
Just past the curb.
To the curb.
To the curb.
Is the county helping with the man?
No.
Their responsibility is from the curb over to School Street.
What are they gonna do?
They want us to finish doing that, which will be done in May, and then talk to them about how to finish from the curb over to School Street. because half of that street belongs to us and half belongs to the county. But we need to finish that project first.
Okay, yeah.
That's early on, we just started that like a week or two ago.
We'll have something to argue about here. Okay, yeah, we did ours, now they need to do theirs, so. All right, anything else?
Robert?
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Lotta with the University of Florida Observatory out here, she left these flyers. They're going to open the observatory up for 2 nights, the 26th and the 27th. I'm sorry? Yes, these are for you. She
It's a
left
sky
them
party
you.
for everybody.
And unfortunately, they're right next door to where they want to do the sand mine. And they're very concerned about what it might do, but they want people to know that they let the children come, the first through 12th grade, and they come and they get an educational experience. And it's a very important experience. I've been out and looked at the telescope, and boy, oh boy, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Just so you know, there's a rain date, which is the following weekend, if that weather's okay.
Right. Let's see, are there some more there, Laura?
Yes, ma'am.
February 23rd. Now, we're glad to accept your money by case. 23rd, yeah, it's always that.
It's very
last Friday.
interesting. It's so
No,
cool.
23rd, it's always the last Friday.
Yeah. Here we go. I think there are enough here. What, got 2 more?
Last year, last year, me and some of our cakes, so.
Thank you.
And this year's a kid, it'll probably be
Did you read
$900 cake. It's for the kids. It's for the kids.
How you doing, man? It's been a long time. Well, here you go, big. You already got these.
I'm just gonna take a picture of it. Take a picture of the side.
Here, it's yours. She left them for us.
Are you sure?
Yes, absolutely.
You have an electronic version?
Have you ever been out
Look
there?
and see the tree. It's already
It's so
confirmed.
good.
Hey, Laura.
It always rotates around and then opens
Did
out.
email it to you? Oh, no, I'll ask her then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to have.
Thank you for letting me.
Are you sure? I am. Here she is, here's your flyers. Oh, thank you.
Franklin, you got anything?
Yeah, well, I just want to congratulate Ms. Palmer, for being, elected to IT. And I just want to thank, Ms. Blake and the other lady for coming forward and trying to, look out for the citizens of Bronson and the surrounding area. And I also want to thank the fire department because they had to come to my house and they acted very prompt. And my little granddaughter got sick and they came out, they was here. By the time, my wife didn't hang up the phone, but yes, stay on the phone with her when they got here. But they got here in a matter of minutes. I commend them for their quick service. And that's it.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, we got it. All right, thank you, sir, appreciate it. And we wish you speedy recovery on everything, so, all right.
I'm having setback, ever setback.
Yeah. All right, anything else? We have any other public speakers? All right, with that being said, I'll take a motion to pay the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Pay our bills, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those same, motion carried. Meeting adjourned.
Oh, county meeting still going?